Hey everybody, it's GeForce41 here with another PGA Tour 2K25 playthrough video. This one is of my own course, Casuals Golf Club Resort. I have not done a video for this because guess what? I did a video and I was delayed in putting the video out there. And when I went to upload it, put it on a little memory stick and then bring it to the computer, guess what? The file was corrupted. So I couldn't do it. So this course has been out since September, and guess what? I haven't done a video for my own course that was out in September. So we're going to take you through it. What I do on these videos, I always plan my own courses for you because to give you kind of a little bit of inside look at what's going on inside my brain when I do this. Not that I'm the world's most expert designer, but I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing and just give you, it's fun to give you my thoughts and tell you a little bit more about my course and what goes on in the thought process, and maybe you can learn something along the way. So this course is, let's kind of get up there a little bit for you. This is based on the Mount Washington course in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. I play this every summer. When we go up there, we go up to that area for vacation, and it's a Donald Ross. It is a underrated Donald Ross gem. Bretton Woods is a famous old grand hotel, and there was famous economic summits there in the early 1900s. And it's a beautiful old grand hotel right at the base of Mount Washington. So that's why you kind of see the mountains in the back. I didn't go with the Swiss theme because that was a little over the top. But it's a great spot to go. But this course is great. It's a very linksy kind of Ross course, but the greens are subtle, but there's no flat putts on the whole darn thing. There's some great holes out there. So these holes kind of represent some of the look and feel of it. And the basic thought process here is the front 9 holes are kind of subtle on the lowlands, flattish, not that difficult, some shorter holes. But the back kind of goes up the hill towards the mountain area and then back down a little bit. And that's kind of how the resort course plays a little bit. We'll walk you through that. So if you think about it, that makes sense. If you get people going out that are casual golfers just play 9, it's fairly simple. And then if you're really into it, play the 19, the challenge comes on the back. That's kind of it. Not much else to it. Let's have some damn fun. I'm going to hit a 3-wood because I got the wind at my back. So I put some little grassy areas. I played around with the terrain painting and the surface weathering. So this is going to look very natural. I don't know. Picture this as kind of like a September-ish. I don't know if it's midsummer. I forget what I was thinking when I designed it over the summer. But you can see it's kind of got that natural woodsy feel to it. Played around with the lighting a bunch of times. The greens aren't crazy, but there are slopes. I did put crowds because we are T-ready on Casuals Golf Club. And damn it, we struggle for big weekend or BWE courses because not many people are using the crowds. And I know the objects take meter and all that stuff. Putting the actual people in is a little bit of time because you got to be careful that they don't bunch up and look ridiculous. Greens are rolling 164. I'm playing the back tees. First set of pins. East wind, I think, medium. It's been so long, I forget what my preferred wind was here. But they all work. I try to vary things up. Vary your holes. Which direction your par 5s, par 3s are going. I played around the cameras. Yeah, a little bumpy here. It wasn't, they're a little tricky to get a hold of and get a nice smooth flow into them. Because I don't know what the heck all those settings really actually mean, but I just play around with them. Second hole, again, you see it's nice and flat. They have a lot of these kind of grassy, tall grassy areas along the course. So that's why I threw that in. That's kind of that inspiration. There's not, on the real course, there's not a ton of trees. And you can see I'm showing off my work. I talk about this in quick tips. You can see the whole fairway and the bunker. Yeah, so there's a lot of grassy areas, not a lot of trees until you get to the back. So it's kind of linksy, but the only, a lot of the risk is blowing it right into the high grass or left into the high grass. And you can't find your ball in those things. It's really thick high grass in between holes. So it almost plays like water. High grass, that is. So you see a lot of switchbacky holes here. I'm a big Ross fan. I do a lot of Ross stuff. I recreated Newton Commonwealth Golf Club, the old Commonwealth Country Club. In the last game, I need to port that over. I might be doing that next, after I finish my work in progress. My work in progress, I'm doing a kind of Rainer CB McDonaldish inspired course. Just kind of, remember the Lido video I did in the last game in PGA Tour 2K23? That's hole 13 you see there. That one came out real good. I was scratching my head initially over that one. All right, so now we have some shortish fours. Now you see the hotel over there on the right. So that's kind of how the front plays in real life. There's the big grand hotel. I mean, that's not even close to as beautiful as the hotel is. It's clunky at best, but hopefully it does the trick. Beautiful. Look it up if you're watching this on a computer. Mount Washington Resort. It's the Omni Mount Washington now. Shortish four, right? So you're just kind of playing with the angle here into the green. How far you want to hit it, right? Because you're going to get one of those. Yeah, pretty smooth roll there. I've played this course much since I released it. Oh yeah, I forgot I did that. Since it was early September, first week of September, right around Labor Day. Struggled with the water early on because I was using the new games tools. This one was inspired by the real, I think it's the third hole, where you've got a series of kind of like 3 bunkers in the middle, and it's very short. Now, I don't hit it 291 yards in the air. But in real life, there's a series of bunkers out there. It's like about 230, 240, right in like, my 3-wood distance, and I can't carry that. Can't carry driver over them. So I kind of wind up hitting a 5-wood or a 3 hybrid, like off to the side or in front. This is made so you can maybe run it up, right? So this is actually a good wind that I chose for this hole. There's a few short fours that you could run it up here. This might be one of them. If you're a little longer than me or using the enhanced golf balls, you might be able to do something here. So let's see what happens. Go, go, go. It's going to check up. That's all right. Right, so it's going to be a little more interesting into the wind. But with the wind, you might be able to drive the green. Oh. 15 is like that on the back. So again, you'll see, my main focus in making this course was utilizing the new shot making emphasis in the new game, right? So this is the first new design I did for the new game. And you've got much more shot shaping, right? You've got the default if you're hitting a draw or a fade kind of thing. So I was trying to bring that into play, and what a better way to do it than a Ross that you're going to have switchback type holes. That's 15. So hole it's telling you that's also drivable with the wind behind you. Par 3, number 5 goes towards the hotel in real life. Not quite. I mean, it doesn't quite look like this, but I gave this a little bit of a plateau. Had the stream coming through just to get a little water in the course. Got a little, kind of pathway out there going over to 6, and you got the pool and tennis courts up there. Again, emulating real life a little bit. But, this would be a real cool hole in real life if you've had all the kind of force carry. I said the front was easy. It is if you're playing a computer game, but that shot might not be so easy. You might get some background noise on this video. The whole family's home today. It's day off of school. There's 14. A little reverse Rodani kind of thing going on. Mirroring the real life of 14. This is a par 6 is a par 5 in real life kind of going this way. I added the water just for effect. It's more a visual than anything else, right? I mean, no one's going to have any trouble carrying that really unless unless you're really short and you put the winds and max in your face. I don't think anybody's going to have any trouble. But it also it's just, you know, having the water make sense and going through. And it looks, you know, looks nice. Don't forget the aesthetics. Again, I'm showing off the hole. You can see the fairway, the water, the bunker, the bridge, right? Show off your work. Blind shots are okay on occasion if it's intentional. There are cool blind tee shot kind of holes, but you got to know when to use them. So again, I'm utilizing the grasses and the new features and all this, right? No magic here. You just got to shape one in, really, right? It's going to be hard to get close. You can definitely reach the screen in two in most instances, but it's a matter of getting it close. You can see that, you know, the greens are not treacherous, but they're moving. There's no such thing as a flat putt. Again, it's Casuals golf club, so we keep things fairly simple. I definitely think there's room. These are Morel at 164. There's room for you to speed them up and firm them up. And, you know, I always try to make my courses versatile, keeping in mind schedulers, because I am one. I struggle with this one 7, but I think this one finally came out okay. This is kind of just, you know, through the trees kind of thing. 2's on the other side of those trees. And this is a 5. This is a long 5. It's straight, but it's long. It's 606. So there's a little bit of a bunker over here, right? So that's going to impede you from kind of coming in from the right. It's a fairly narrow fairway relative to the rest of the course. But you can kind of nuzzle one right down the left side there. Now that's fine if the pin's on the right side, right? Now it's on the left. I gave you that little sliver. See how I got the fairway in front of the green running up there? That was on purpose so you can run one up. I was being nice to you. But, you know, again, I've got a whole bunch of these things instead of just plain old bunkers. All right. And the wind's not helping here. So I don't think this is going to get there. And I blocked it. And are we going to go in there? No. Gonna kick it back. It's all right. What I got? I'm in the light rough, so it did wind up light rough. I haven't used the lob. I'm gonna see what's going on with this lob. It's a newer shot. I don't know how much it releases or doesn't because I've not played around with it. A couple times I used it, it released more than I expected. All right. Oh, did I almost whiff on that? Ooh, I got lucky there. Dead center in the box score, as they say. Okay, there you go. That's a preview of 11. And here we go to 8. Another kind of platformish green here. Put a little pond in here for effect. And this is kind of an Eden, right? This is... There's got, you know, there's the 3 bunkers. I've talked about Eden holes before, and there's like an Eden bunker or water or something behind it based on St. Andrews 13. Is that the original? Or 7? I always mix it up in my head. Anyway, fairly simple little 3. Again, might be a little bit of trouble if you play this one for real. But that is looking good. That's looking very good. Crowd loves it. All right. The last hole of 9. It's also got a very unique routing because the course in real life has unique routing. 9 doesn't go back to the clubhouse. 8 goes back to the clubhouse like that one kind of did. 9 goes off to the side, and 10 goes up the side of the course to up the hill. So I did the same thing here. That's on purpose. There's a little thing called Ross's Roost, and it's never anybody in it. But I'm there. I'd assume when they're busier or have tournaments, there's people or food in Ross's Roost, but maybe the weekends. But again, we're starting to get a little hillier. I'm going up the hill here. You know, I call this a no entrance green. Well, people call it different things. But it's got an angle. You see how this, you know, this is kind of straight, a little left to right on the fairway, but you kind of really want to get this one going right to left in there. Got elevation, but we've got the wind. So we're gonna just throw one in there just like that. There you go. And drained it. That was a good putt. There you go. -3 on the first 9. Now it gets super interesting. So, hope you like the front. I think that came out pretty good. We've already used this in casuals, but I designed this so we can use it quite often, to be honest with you. All right, up the hill, par 5. This again is mimicking real life. Same kind of hole, big par 5 up the hill with bunkers off to the left. They're very dramatic. It's a really cool hole in real life and a beautiful view from the top of the hole, the greens. You can see it's 50 feet up. I think I measured to try to make it very close to what it is like in real life. You get some beautiful views from this green. I always turn around, take a picture. The people I play with, even I don't know them, they'll turn around and take pictures from this green or from the next tee. So it's kind of the high point of the course. Back up in this corner, as well as the tee box on 14, 13 green. So you see, so it's, interesting shot in. Again, this is kind of a straight hole, but you do get an advantage if you can shape your shots. This again favors a little right to left. I'm sorry, left to right. Elevation change to gauge. Big green, definitely moves. You can see the green just moving. Definitely room to firm them up. So good hole, good test in real life. And this is 11, a par 5 downhill. In real life, this is a beautiful view. I tried to emulate it a little bit. It didn't come out super great because it's down light. If you change the lighting, it actually should work. This is, oh gosh, I forget. Did I do morning? I forget. If this is morning, switch it to afternoon. If this is afternoon, you can switch it to morning. It will work. There'll be some shadows, but it's very playable either way. And there's just you have this tee box and the beautiful view of the beautiful hotel off to the right. So I have my clunky hotel off to the right, but it's my favorite tee shot of the year, and I always take a picture. It's great stuff. Same kind of hole with the bunker you can carry on the right. This, I pulled it back a little. Usually in real life you can, well, if you're long, you can carry that bunker. It's about 220 out. Here I wanted to make this obviously a little more challenging for the game. Way downhill, but this is into the wind, so it's very reachable with the wind, with the downhill, of course. And yeah, back-to-back. So if you notice, there's 2 back-to-back par 5s, 2 sets of back-to-back par 5s. Front 9 par 5s are back-to-back, and the back 9. Thought that was a little unique. Into the wind, I'm not going to make it. So, it's, do you want to just run it up there as close as you can? Yeah, because I'm right in the middle of the fairway. And there's nothing to worry about, to be honest with you. Now you got a little bit of a slope here on the fairway. And the wind. Gonna have a little chip up. Of course, I'm kind of short-sighted myself there. It's actually not the greatest. I'm gonna fade my pitch. It's like Tiger. You ever see those videos? He talks about a short game. He fades and draws his chips and pitches. That's a lot of good golfers do, but to hear him talk about it, like I'm just gonna do this. I open the club face and I hit it this way. It's like he's amazing at it. Even it's like he's got Fred Couples in the video. Fred Couples is the host, and he's drawn, fading pitches and chips, and Freddie's just like shaking his head, which is pretty impressive if Freddie's shaking his head. Rather experienced gentleman himself. All right, 12, the water is just there in play for 11. It kind of cuts across here. Again, it's a little bit of aesthetics. And just think about real life. It would be a challenge in real life. How would you play that? I try to make my courses realistic. So it'd be 224 there. Most people would kind of drive it around this distance, and be honest, yes, you do. You don't drive at this distance. I know you drive at this distance. You say you drive at this distance. Who are you kidding? Me too. I mean, my longest drives are about 260. but that means that's with the roll, right? So the carry is about here with driver. So I'd probably hit a 3-wood here. In this game, hell, I can hit a 290. Let's go for it, and the wind's at your back. Most people way overestimate how far they are off the tee, especially their carry distance. You know, they hit one great shot, and you think that's your distance, and that's your max because it was summer. The ground was a rock, the wind was behind your back, and the tee box was up, and you think you hit it 280 yards. You probably only hit it 260. And you had dry conditions and whatever. So trust me on these things. All right, this came out neat. I struggled with this. It was really boring. So I took a hat tip to Ivy Mike, our own Ivy Mike, changed the angle of the tee box because I had the tee box straight on and it was just a boring hole. But now this kind of turns into a little bit of a cape hole. So Eraser Gib, if you're watching, this is slightly capish, right? It's not a big, huge curve, but it's how much you're going to cut off, and there's risk to the cutoff, okay? So cape hole doesn't have to be a big crescent. It could be kind of like this, because being over here is more advantageous. It's a little bit better angle in, right? But sometimes with this, actually, this whole location, the right side's a little better in, but you're going to be further out. See how there's a little trade-off there? Nothing major, not rocket science. It's not all about the risk. It's where you're going to put it. And I'm going to put it right through. There's the other risk. You take, if you're too conservative, you push it right through. So I just did a quick tips 30 for Racer Gibb, and he was asking questions about my comments on cape holes, etc. So hopefully, Gibb, you were watching this one, and that helps and makes sense. There's no right or wrong answer. And yes, you can have a cape hole with no water. This is one. But the Lido, the real course, the old course, and now the new version of the old course, the Lido was in New York, lost to time after World War I, C.B. Macdonald Gem, recreated in the sandhills of Nebraska, I think it is. But that's the fifth hole. It's a very short cape hole. It's really just caped around bunkers. So it's just super short, curvy hole. Same concept, right? All right. Here comes the drama. Downhill, 200 plus yard par 3 with this kind of, it is definitely reverse Verdani green here. Same kind of thing in real life. Hey, I literally have almost had a hole in one here. You put it up here and it rolls down, and I put one, it wasn't this year, it was a year before. I put one about 6 inches behind the hole. Like, I would say, like, literally, it rose, trickled. We all thought it was going in, and it stopped, like, maybe there. And yes, I made the putt. But this is a fun one because you can use this if you use this fairway here, that will shoot you all the way down to the 4th pin location down here. So you've got to just judge the wind, the depth, the drop, and where you're going to hit it here to kind of, once you get it going, actually, it's hard to stop. And if you get it right here, it's not going to roll too much, right? So I've got wind going that way. I'm going to kind of do that. No, I'm going to go that right there. Because the wind's going to push it. And we'll see. Come on back. Not bad. Look at that. Looks more dramatic than it actually is. All the red makes it look like crazy. Now look at, without the red, it doesn't look that crazy, right? All right. Awesome. Cool hole in real life. Hopefully I put the water. There's no water. It's just that kind of waste gunk, brushy stuff. It's gone. It's just not a pond in real life. All right. 15. I told you about this one. If the wind was behind you, you could drive it. So that's now that I think of it, now I remember I might have done that on purpose. If the wind is behind you on, what was it, 4? yeah, it was 4, you can maybe drive the green, but not 15. If the wind's behind you on 15, you can drive the green, but not on 4. So those are the type of things you want to be careful of when you're designing. Because if it was both of them, people are going to say, well, there's nothing wrong with that if you want to do both of them. But it's a really nice switch to say, all right, 15 is going to play tough, is going to be drivable, and 4 isn't, and it gives you some versatility. But you could see here, if the wind was behind me with the downhill 20, the wind behind your back, you can run it right up that neck. All right, now the question becomes, if you can't do that, what are you going to do? Do you really want to drive it down there and risk running out of the fairway in a little wonky chip pitch? Or do you just kind of lay it back? Right, you can pull it back. You can maybe hit the stinger. A couple things here. I'm just going to go 3-wood. And then get the angle in a little. That's all. Pretty. I put a little covered bridge, very New Hampshire. It's my hat tip to New Hampshire there. Again, this one plays down light, so it doesn't look super great. It looks really cool with the opposite light going on. So yeah, if you're a scheduler, you run a society, definitely you could use this one. Very versatile. Firm it up, speed it up, put some wind. It will play much more interesting with wind. I have the wind on medium. You can definitely consider it's fairly short and oh, look at this. There you go. And simple. You can crank the wind. Makes it play very interesting. 16's a par 3. In real life, the 16th goes at Mount Washington. I didn't have this set up, so there's a big giant mountain you're hitting at. But when I did the Alps, the Swiss theme, yeah, I had a big mountain back there. All right, again, just kind of going around the water, just making use of the water I put in. There's 14, right? So just making it a little scenic. So just have, when you're designing, have fun. I was telling Racer Gib, the rules, there are rules, but then there's not rules. And there's your take on things like templates. This isn't a template. I'm just saying in general. Templates are there as a template. Just kind of take a set thing and make it your own. Verdans, reverse verdans, double plateaus. Not a ton of them on this. There's a lot of switchback kind of holes here. There's the reverse verdan, which is 14, but that was it. Otherwise, it was kind of just use your imagination. Definitely on this one. Next one coming up. 17's a long 4. Plays, it says 486, but it's probably on the card because that's 486 as the crow flies. You got to bend one again. This is bend one around the corner, but then look at your approach, right? You're kind of going at it. You want to go in right to left. So this is a very long switchbacky type hole. If you block one, you try to cut the corner. You have a little trouble over there. But the wind is pushing you that way a little. So again, now you got 200 yards to an elevated, kind of narrow green. I gave you a little help up there. But that also is, you're making your green natural. It's up a hill, so the hill's going to come into play and be the natural kind of slope of the green. And now the fairway's taking you away too, right? So the fairway's pushing you to the right. You want to draw it to the left. And there's wind. And I'm set up as a fader, and now you're going to see the trouble that you get into. Kaplunk. Boom. It's going to whack you back in there. So I haven't been in that stuff yet. As you can see, so, be careful with your grasses. That's fairly realistic. It's a little big. But, if I was in there and it was over my head, it would look silly. And a lot of people do that so you can see the grasses and have it render. But you've got to weigh that pros and cons of you might wind up in there. So that looks pretty realistic being in there like that. I'm going to... Oh, I haven't done... I'm looking to do a lob out of here. What's it doing? Dirt. 80, 90. A little spin on that there. That could work. There's a nice little use of the new lob. Saves par. 6 under going into the last. Alright. So there, I'm coming back to the hotel for effect. Kind kind of just use my imagination on this one. I gave you a little bit of a tricky tee shot here. You got a little bit of a forced carry over the stream coming into the green, which is exactly what happens in real life. Trying to think what to do here. We got the wind pushing me that way. The pin's over there, so I'm going to aim here. Kind of just go a little like this. You just got to thread the needle on this one. You could lay out back of the bunker with the 3-wood. But there's room. Could run through pretty easy if you get too aggressive, though. So a little bit, you know, elevated, 13 feet up. Again, it's a no entrance green. Obviously, you've got the stream coming through here. And there's my little sign in the background. And that would be the little clubhouse for the course. Back behind the stands in the up on the hill. Right, because there's a hotel and then you got a golf clubhouse too. Not bad. Yeah, so I got a little decent sized crowd here. Again, it'll be nice and this will be very pretty without the crowd. Just turn them off. Obviously, the objects can't be turned off, but it gives it a unique look. And there it is. All right, so that is my Casuals Golf Club and Resort. And you could find it out there now. It's been out for about 2 months. And hopefully you liked it. And I have been away way too long with these videos, so I will be back real soon. If you have any comments, please interact. Please like and subscribe. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you want your course reviewed on Quick Tips, drop me a line too. That's all for today. Bye for now.